Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to the first game of week 4 of the DAL. Actually, this is going to be an amazing night tonight. We have 3 games lined up for you, and 2 of them will be absolutely amazing. Actually, every game we have is going to be really promising. I don't mean to belittle or to, make it sound as if it was trivial, since every team we're going to have tonight is in the top half. Currently, if I am not mistaken, I believe Unique Esports, they're above MishMash or the other way around, but they're pretty close together. Onlyfans, they are tied against Hostile Actions. So Onlyfans, they're tied for first place, whereas MishMash Gaming, they're tied for third place. I.e., so basically first team playing against the third team right now. Then, next game, we are going to be having Onlyfans play against Hostile Action. So these are the 2 teams that as of yet are undefeated, i.e. both of these teams have 6 victories under their belts and no defeat. One of these 2 teams is going to find their winning streak cut off abruptly right here and then tonight. So this match is going to be an absolute blast of a match to cast. And then after that, the third game, which is set to start around 10 p.m., is going to see MishMash Gaming play again. This time, however, against Unique Esports. So, like I said, MishMash Gaming right now, they are tied to Unique Esports. Well, assuming if they were to win this game, they would no longer be tied against them since they would have a point more. But, in practice, as you know, they are going to be really close to Unique Esports, skill-wise. And having these 2 teams play off against each other is also going to have to break a tie, So, like I said, tonight we will have great matches for you guys to see, for you guys to cast, or for me to cast, and I am absolutely thrilled. I mean, I think this is one, or if not the biggest week I was looking forward to in the whole season, in the whole tournament, for the first half at the very least. I know for a fact that the game is going to start pretty quickly here since I'm using a YouTube clean feed, which doesn't have a delay baked into it. So I'm just, scrolling back 3 minutes. And by doing so right here... Oh, no, did I jump back even further? Oh, gosh. You know what? Let's just jump into the game. So the interesting thing is... Oh, gosh, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to change the sound. Come on. Okay. So, one thing at a time. The interesting thing is by doing this, by using this formula, I know absolutely when the lobby is going to start, and therefore I know when to fire up the stream and having 3 minutes to talk, to introduce the players and everything without having it take too much time, So, without further ado, let's jump right into the game. The map will be Villa. The operator bans will go as follow. Thermite will be banned here by Onlyfans. Onlyfans, they'll be defending, so of course that means that for the first half of the game, they will not be playing against this hard breacher. But Thermite, I mean, he is banned from time to time because he's still a hard breacher. He's still pretty good utility-wise and all that good stuff. But ultimately, I mean, for example, Thatcher would usually be banned rather than Thermite because you still have Hibana, you still have Maverick, who has just been banned right here. And so, of course, taking out the hard breaching capabilities is going to be important, but you still do have, like I mentioned previously, Hibana. And since Thatcher hasn't been banned, Hibana should have a, relative ease to open up the reinforced walls, assuming she has the right type of support operators, i.e. Thatcher, IQ, Twitch, if it was to even to come to that. So all that good stuff. Pulse will be banned. That is quite interesting. And then you're going to be seeing Mira. So not exactly the kind of bans I would have guessed would happen in the right order, since of course, right, Echo has been unbanned, so he's been added back into the rotation. His bug has been fixed in the past, right? I would have expected to see an Echo ban, maybe even a Maestro ban, because they are really good, plant denial operators. So taking them out of the picture could have been really interesting. And as always, our trusted observer will be cycling through the different players' ranks. As we can see, MishMash Gaming, they are going to be platinum, all of them except for one player who isn't currently ranked for some reason. But then again, he wouldn't be like a silver level and be on the MishMash team. So you can safely assume, I believe it was Gibby who isn't currently ranked. You can safely assume he is at the very least platinum 3, probably platinum 2 or more. and the ranks were varying a bit more on the other team, but nothing too major. One thing that I do realize, and I'm gonna have to ask for help here, I removed the mouse on the second computer to plug it to the laptop, but now I don't have a wireless mouse. Do you mind grabbing it from me, please? Either the wired one or the wireless one. That would have been embarrassing because I wouldn't have been able to, handle the mouse. Yeah, please. I would have been able to handle the mouse when it comes time to do the replays. So, for our first round, thank you so much. Let's just plug it in front and not ask any questions to keep it as simple as possible. Our first round will be played Aviation and Games Room. And so the Aviation defense is, of course, a staple of this map, right? It is going to be the favorite bomb site basically every single time. If I was to draw a comparison to a map such as Clubhouse, your primary bomb site, or bomb sites plural, are so close to one another that some teams would rather go CCTV first, whereas some others will have a personal preference for the basement area. Whereas here on this map, the primary bomb site is undisputedly the games rooms area, and therefore MishMash Gaming won't have been surprised, or MishMash Gaming won't have been thrown off guard, because Onlyfans, realistically speaking, weren't going to go anywhere else. If I was to look at the composition itself, or the King of Golds getting a first kill here, so that would be Kenny, your entry fragger, taken off the board. And by the way, was it Kenny? So Tyler, MishMash, you said, and I believe you weren't sarcastic or joking or anything along those lines. So I believe, I believe that according to you, Kenny is literally the best T3 Montaigne player in North America. And therefore, two things. First of all, Montaigne hasn't been banned, so that is going to be somewhat surprising. And second of all, he's not playing it, so that is also, something I would not exactly have been expecting here. King of Golds, there you go, going with another kill, looking for a third X-ray already, last player alive. Yeah, Tony is the Monty player. Oh, so it's gonna be Tony. Well, I was wrong on the player, but ultimately we're not gonna be seeing a Montaigne be played by MishMash for the first time around, and regarded. Okay, so he's regarded as the best T3 Monty and NA by numerous teams. Okay, so it is gonna be more than just your personal opinion or your personal I want to say history, because of course it's your player, right? So you're gonna be somewhat biased. Everybody would be. So this is why I wanted to just distantiate myself from your claims here. But if you say somebody else has that opinion, well, it kind of validates it, doesn't it? But here everybody has died around X-Ray, and leaving him basically alone and with not much that he can do, right? He can always try. He's gonna have to attempt something. Or is he just saving KD at this point? He's not moving. Just like it sounds like it looks like he's given up, right? Tactical timeout first round. Are they really doing this? Okay, so they're really doing a tactical timeout. I see. So yeah, like I said at the beginning, and tactical timeout would have come to an end just about now. Like I said at the beginning of the game, Onlyfans, they're tied with Hostile Actions for first place, and MishMash, they're tied with Unique for third place. So both of these teams are really high up in the rankings, in the standings. MishMash, stats-wise, would be under or beneath Onlyfans. It might not hold true at the end of this game. I mean, of course, eventually the winning streak, it will be cut off. Is it going to be MishMash who cuts it off abruptly, or is it going to be somebody else? It remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, the natural or typical way of doing things. Oh gosh, I still have the replays from the last round of the last match we've seen. Actually, I was just beating freezing frogs. Yeah, so we're gonna be seeing the replays for our game pretty shortly here. I do apologize about that, or I do apologize for that. What I was gonna say, however, is simply that Onlyfans' playstyle, or natural playstyle, seems to be basically a counter to whatever MishMash were doing. So now it is basically gonna be up to MishMash to come up with something new, to innovate regarding to their playstyle, to attempt to get something new, or to to make things work. So they are gonna have to, I don't want to say reinvent the wheel, but mix things up. And, you know, eventually they're going to do so. They might probably win a round or two by throwing their opponents off guard. And at this point, you know, then it would be up to Onlyfans to try something new, to mix things up, and to throw off MishMash. So it is going to be back and forth, but the main question is, how long are MishMash going to have to study Onlyfans until they can find a weakness they can exploit? One thing right here I already do want to notice is that we're going to go kitchen instead of statues. Like I said, the primary, secondary, tertiary bomb sites are well defined in this map, so statues would be significantly easier to defend rather or compared to kitchen, right? So the idea, I can only hypothesize, but I would assume the idea is Onlyfans, they're picking a weaker bomb site, so weakening or hurting themselves in hopes of hurting MishMash even more, thanks to the advantage of surprise or, you know, playing the disinformation card. Their hopes is to hurt MishMash even more than they're hurting themselves. Let's see if it works. One thing is for sure, MishMash won't be caught completely off guard. You still do have your Buck, who can play verticality a heck of a lot. So of course, you know, breaching the floor from A to Z is still, you know, really possible. Kenny with the breaching charge, I was looking for that. No, not the breaching charge, the well, the grenade launcher. And you likely have one or two players that do have the regular breaching charge, so maybe Dirty and Tony will have them. All in all, it will be fairly easy for the attackers to open up the floor, but that is assuming they can get control of the top floor. And for the time being, well, of course, your roamers are still going to be providing extremely stiff resistance. Dio, I believe, was getting the first kill on Dirty. Kenny this time gonna get a nice entry frag right here, so he's now in astronomy. He can put a lot of pressure on the defenders and force them to watch their flanks. It's no longer, you know, face-to-face firefight. They now have to be a bit more cautious. And that means, in the immediate sense of the word, if Gibby wanted to turn his attention to his feet and to start blowing up the floor, he could do so in a relatively safe environment. Tony is still going to work on pushing up those roamers, and as we can see, it works. Amani has run down the stairs, and I don't see too many more orange silhouettes in X-Ray's POV here. So, all in all, it is going to be a life for a life. Health pool-wise, yeah, Onlyfans do have the advantage, but tactically speaking, they've had to abandon top floor control, and now Gibby is going to use said top floor control to his absolute advantage. Though, of course, right, you only have 58 seconds remaining on the clock, so less than a minute remaining, and you're even just barely beginning to attack the floor of the objective. So, should the timer run out too quickly, well, then it would be King of Golds with the with the Toxic Babes, who could do a heck of a lot of damage here. But it remains to happen, right? Tony seems to be interested in walking down the stairs, trying to find a way in OBJ itself. As you can see, the roamers, they're no longer exactly out and about. For example, Amani, he could have been, let's just say, in the basement area, and he could have walked back up the stairs when it was time to, for example, flank and get behind Gibby to shoot him in the back, right? But rather, he's made it back on bomb side, so the advantage of surprise as to his position is no longer going to be possible, but we do see the attackers funneling in. It is going to be Tony getting a nice kill. Gibby will be put down in the meantime. IQ now biting the dust, but he will be refragged pretty quickly. X-Ray, however, had to cancel the plant of the diffuser, so now with the 0 seconds remaining on the clock, he has to attempt it. Of course, it will never stand, though. And there you have it. Thanks to the clock, Onlyfans will be winning round number 2. These rounds are a bit... it was a bit closer, right? Not exactly down to the wire, because ultimately, as soon as IQ had died, Hibana X-Ray wasn't a 1v2 situation. He could not afford to plant the diffuser, and he didn't have time, you know, to run up to his opponents to get the kills. So it was nicely done, but ultimately Onlyfans playing time was enough to guarantee the victory in that instance. Though MishMash were already in a better position, where they were already miles ahead compared to what they were able to achieve last round. So round number 3, or assuming the growth keeps on piling up at the same rate, maybe round number 4, but eventually the blue team will end up winning a round, that is for sure.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
So,
by
yeah, it does appear that our observer is no longer able to hear the game audio on his end. We are still getting it. So, yeah, guys, being a dedicated observer is not as easy as it sounds. On a purely technical standpoint, I am talking into Discord so he can hear me, and then like if I say, oh, let's there appears to be Jaeger roaming and trying working on a flank, he hears that, he picks up the cue, and then he is gonna pick or he's gonna choose Jaeger's POV in that hypothetical scenario. So he's listening to me, but I don't want my voice to be sent back into the stream, into the clean feed. So we have to do some magic with the virtual audio mixer softwares, and yeah, the software in question is an absolute pain to use. So it seems like he's no longer able to hear the audio, the game audio, and the unfortunate thing is, well, game cue audio cues are major in this game. So let's see what it gives. For the time being, however, it is still, totally there on our end. So the defense, we haven't talked about it too much. It is going to go statues and trophies, but of course we are going to be seeing an extended hold coming from Onlyfans. Kozak getting the kill on Kenny, just as Castle roars his war cry. He'll be put down pretty quickly. Had there been a Twitch here, he could probably have gotten the kill, but that's going to be unfortunate. Ani getting a kill on Gibby, but will be refragged immediately by Dirty, leaving us in now actually a 3v3 situation, and now a 2v2 situation. Kozak is still down. He could still be revived, but realistically speaking, there's nobody out and about that could get that revive down, and of course Dirty's just going to spot him immediately, or actually no, he's not even, there you go, of course he was going to find that. And actually Dirty with a triple kill. That means if he gets 2 more, he has an ace on his hands. But for the time being, of course, that doesn't mean X-Ray should just hang back and do nothing, right? X-Ray is still going to try to get the kills, or to work on securing the victory. So I wouldn't just assume Dirty gets the ace, assuming MishMash wins the round in the first place. But one thing is for sure, MishMash's performances from round to round are going all the way up. Right, last time around it was a 2-2, but they were really low on time. Hibana had to plan. Tactically speaking, the situation was extremely precarious. This time it is about 50-50. Health pool wise, yeah, sure, MishMash has a slight disadvantage by having Dirty down to roughly a third of his health, but then they have still a lot of time on their hands. Utility wise, they just droned out. Out of all the remaining operators, or the other way around, out of all the players that are dead, you still do have Hibana and Thatcher. So if they decide to breach and reinforce wall, it would be really difficult for, say, Saris to quote-unquote bandit tricks and to deny that. There you go. Now smoke biting the dust. They are now on bomb side covering a look. It looks like this plan is going to be successful. Saris is going to have to attempt something. I believe he has a nitro cell, but that does not matter. Dirty actually getting the ace. There you have it. Dirty with the absolute beast of a fragger. He will single-handedly actually win this round for his team. However, and this is an absolutely amazing moment for MishMash fans, and there does appear to be a few of them in the chat right here. MishMash saying, "Let's fucking go, Dirty." Thing is, if I were just to be pessimistic, or to be quick to point out the minute details or the minute flaws in what just happened, you cannot rely on an ace round after round after round to win the round, or to win your points. So it looks like Dirty has woken up. But the rest of the team will have to do so as well if they want to have, a reliable way of winning points and to have taken the victory, taking the eventual lead here. Nonetheless, they did absolutely fantastic. This was round number 3, and therefore the first half has been played. That means we're going to be going for another cycle here. Their primary bomb site will once again be the area that has been chosen by Onlyfans, and this would be a nice, I want to say, opportunity at vengeance for MishMash for 1 or 2 reasons. So the very first round we went there, you remember, right? Assuming you haven't logged in the last, say, 3 minutes, it was an absolute disaster for MishMash Gaming. I mean, it was a 1v4 situation within a minute in the round. So MishMash will have a second chance at proving themselves. Plus, this first round, it was the first contact between these two teams. So Onlyfans, even though they were able to quite easily overpower MishMash, the blue team has adapted to that. They realized what their enemy's playstyle is and what the flaws are, and visibly they were able to, use that knowledge to their advantage. They just won the round after all. So now that they knew full well what they're going up against, if they were to be able to beat Onlyfans on their primary bomb site, on their strongest bomb site, things would look really well for MishMash going forward for what's remaining of this half of the game at the very least. And of course, MishMash, or OnlyFans rather, are going for the pretty much the same setup. It's the same setup, which is going to be quite intense on opening up the floor, not from A to Z, because of course then it would be a potential liability. But more or less, the idea seems to be that they really do want to have a narrow but pertinent line of sight on a few corridors, doorways, a floor below. For example, they can know if somebody walks right up the stairs. For example, the thing is, MishMash is not going to be biting this time. They are coming from the other way around, and Saras is already taking a lot of damage, even though he was, you know, doing the quick peeks, being pretty cautious at not overexposing himself. And that is going to be a lot of flash grenades, making sure there's no ADS device that could eat up, say, a frag grenade, though I don't, Tony probably has the frags. But other than that, I mean, they now have control of classical hallway, and therefore X-Ray could probably breach into Hunting Vault. But other than that, they weren't able to secure a kill. So it's still going to be a 5v5 situation. And therefore, if all of your roamers have been flushed out, have been forced back into OBJ, except the one right here, well, it is going to be basically forcing the defense into a turtle strat. And therefore, it's going to make the OBJ itself so much a tougher nut to crack. It seems Hibana went for only a single row of pellets to open up a line of sight more than anything else. He wouldn't want the defenders to run out, you know, using that opening. But for the time being, I mean, I don't see an easy or a quick way for a MishMash to just walk right on side and to get the diffuser planted. Granted, they still have all 5 of their players as well. I mean, nobody has died so far. So, things are looking still very doable. I mean, both teams are at odds of winning the round. It will come down to the final push here, and the final push is likely to happen, seeing the stagnating situation, in the last few seconds of the round. I.e., whenever only a MishMash decides to run in and to, you know, to get into a do-or-die situation, they are going to have no chance at getting a second attempt, because, you know, 35 seconds are already remaining on the clock. King of Goals will be the first official casualty, even though Kenny has been put down, so he was the first threat neutralized. He was brought back up. So MishMash, for the time being, will have a slight advantage. Though you still do have your Echo up, and the Yokai Jones can be absolutely major at the end of the round. Sarah's with a nice kill here. He is coming back on site. My question is, where is Echo? Because if he's not in a position where he's free to use the drones, that could really negate the advantage the defense has. But with 8 seconds remaining on the clock, the blue guys are now on bomb site. Unfortunately, they're all dying all around X-Ray. He is once again the last player alive. He gets a kill, now in a 2v1 situation with once again a triple kill. He could have gotten an ace himself as well, but unfortunately the timer did not allow for that. So there you have it. Like I said, the ace is not a reliable way of winning your rounds. You have to be a bit more aggressive. The problem seems to be that they were stagnating, or MishMash didn't trust themselves for too long, right? Had they been able to do what they did, say 30 seconds before, you still would have had X-Ray in a 1v3 and then 1v2 situation, but he would at least had a fighting chance at getting the ace, at securing the victory single-handedly. Here, he just couldn't do that. So hesitating is really a dangerous thing to do, because, I mean, for say 45 seconds roughly, the situation as a whole didn't change too much. MishMash were all around the OBJ but didn't manage to set foot on it. So if they decided to try, you know, to simply try to go for it, you know, fuck it, let's go, and come what may, so what we saw happening would have happened, say, 35 seconds before, then, like I said, your last player alive would have had a chance of getting the ace here. He just couldn't have done it on his own. And it looks like Onlyfans will be doing the same thing a second time in a row, i.e. they're using the secondary bomb site, well, using Kitchen as a secondary bomb site. So at this point, it seems to be unironical, or it seems to be their unironic bomb site, their true intent of defending it. So they lost on Trophy Room. They could have gotten up top for this very round, but they elected not to do so. So at this point, I truly believe that Onlyfans really do prefer to defend this bomb site than the one above. For what it's worth, MishMash will still not be caught off guard. I mean, you still do have your buck, you still do have your IQ. The composition will be slightly different compared to the last time we had to attack here. So Tony will be playing with Iana. I just had to remember that. So Tony's playing Iana, but other than that, I mean, it's going to be a frag grenade, which actually might even be better than the IQ they had previously. But another thing I do want to point out. So we had talked about that previously at the beginning of the game, actually. Tony is an amazing Montaigne main. Why isn't he playing it? Because at this point, it is known he's a Montaigne main. And it doesn't appear that Onlyfans are aware of that. Like, they didn't ban Montaigne outright. So, are you saving strats? Because the end of the first half is happening pretty quickly. It's this round and then the next. So, if you were to save strat, you'd be saving strats for literally the next round. So, all in all, we're missing just about every single kill, but Onlyfans, they will be on their absolute back foot here. They are now finding themselves in a 2v5, not 2v4 situation. Still, it is a heavy disadvantage that they're going to be finding themselves in. And of course, not even half of the round has been played out so far. I.e., Buck will have a heck of a lot of time to just breach the floor from A to Z and let hell rain down on the defense. Like, if you're hiding behind, say, the desk, say, the table, or anything, or behind any piece of cover, the ceiling can just be breached above you and rendering this, this angle basically useless. You would have to rotate, and then somebody else could hypothetically cut off said rotation. So, the one and only thing I do want to point out, though, it seems like Buck is opening up the floor haphazardly, without too much intel. If you had a drone that could say, oh, King of Golds, he's here, and, southeastern corner in the kitchen, well, then Buck would know where to check in the grenades, or where to blow up the floor, But for the time being, it's going to be King of Golds who gets a nice frag. The advantage of surprise, lack of intel is going to be a factor here. He will be trading a flash grenade for a toxic babe, still alive. No damage has been dealt to him, but he's going to realize there's somebody right there. He is able to pop the smoke, but had he received a bullet to the head, it would have been the end of him. You do have somebody right here. He's going to have to, go back and forth with his aim. He's in a tough situation right here. That is for sure. Buck is going to get the kill, actually. And it looks like Amani fell just at the same moment. Therefore, this is going to be yet another victory, or yet another round won by MishMash Gaming. They will thus have not exactly the equilibrium. They won't have the scores tied just yet. But if they were able to win out the round another time, which they've already done before, no matter where Onlyfans go. So they could either go in the kitchen area again, which in that instance, MishMash will just have to repeat what they just did, or they could go statues, and MishMash also won statues. Their first point actually was winning the statues bomb site, so... Except if we go raiding, which would basically be suicide for OnlyFans. History has proven that MishMash can, but will not necessarily automatically be able to win the next round. So, as far as this map goes, it is not crazy defense-sided. It's actually pretty well balanced as far as maps on Rainbow Six go. So I wouldn't say, oh well, by having the difficult side, yet keeping the score side, MishMash would be the better team. I couldn't go into, that kind of analysis this early on into the game. But one thing is for sure, the match is absolutely beautiful to see. Both teams are really balanced. And the back and forth makes it so that we cannot know, in advance, or we cannot know for sure who's going to win. And that's what I like to see. Let's not forget that right after this game, Onlyfans is playing again against Health-Style Actions. So it can go both ways. But if Onlyfans were to, for example, lose, and if that were to be a hit on their morale, they could go into their second match, with morale and with energy a bit down, or even, fatigue could be a factor here. It could also go the other way around. If they win, or even if they just don't get faced too much by a hypothetical loss, and if they were to, still be pretty energetic and already warmed up compared to their opponents, they could be, maybe a bit more energetic going into the second match. So it could really go both ways, but Onlyfans will be playing again, and MishMash will also be playing again, not next game, but in 2 games actually. So the MishMash's next game is scheduled to start around 10 p.m. Though that is looking into the future for the time being. Let's look at the last round before the role swap. We will be seeing an astronomy hold. So, of course, the bomb site is going to be trophy room and statues, which is not too surprising, since we've seen Onlyfans do that before. My question, however, is, are you taking into consideration or reacting according to the rounds you've lost? Because they just suffered a defeat on Kitchen, and they could have gone kitchen again if it was, you know, their unironic second bomb site, but they elected not to do so. So I'm a bit curious as to why. Right here, Kozak is going to be missing a few bullets on Kenny. That is absolutely unfortunate. What kind of angle is that? Nobody is taking any kind of damage on the defense, but Kenny is surprisingly unperturbed by the presence of Kozak just around him. Right, he narrowly avoided a few bullets there, and he's not gonna give chase. He's not gonna get distracted. So it's, you know, a good thing, both a good and a bad thing. If he doesn't pay attention, Kozak could get an easy kill on him. But right here, it looks like Gibby will be putting an end to the Kozak threat. But Saris is going down, getting a nice kill of his own. And now, X-Ray, if you cannot pull a clutch like you almost did last time around, well, it looks like the scoreline is going to be 4-2 for the rule swap. Unlike last time, X-Ray still has over a minute on his hands, so he can absolutely, you know, pick them off one by one, assuming he wins his firefights and all that good stuff. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, I'm just saying he has actually a fighting chance this time. Is she gonna die this round? Oh yeah, because he was also last player alive at the very first round, and that was the the tactical timeout MishMash had given themselves. Okay, so for right here, there is, for example, an open hatch, and his position has been spotted. This time around, X-Ray will be fragged out. Onlyfans, therefore, securing a 4-2 scoreline for the rule swap. This is a sizable advantage, but it's not, you know, impossible, or it wouldn't be too much to ask of MishMash to recover said disadvantage as soon as they start defending, right? So as we can see right here, 7 kills. I was just a little too quick. Kenny with the, or was it Kenny Dirty with the ace? Of course, he has 7 kills. He's gonna be the top fragger for his team. And Onlyfans, even though they have a few more points, it looks like they have a few kills less. You know what? We are going to take a look at this right after the replays, as soon as we jump into the preparation phase, because I don't know if you know, it is kind of a, I don't want to say small detail, but it's not the most advertised feature of the new, or now just normal Spectator UI. But let me just educate you. If I was to just bring the Nelson here, because I want to point to a few things. If you look at Kenny here, top left corner, so he has 1 kill, 3 assists, and 6 deaths. So some people actually didn't know that. I mean, the numbers are always there, and you don't even need to. Oh gosh, it is. Let's just put this back in full screen. So the interesting thing is, you don't have to, you know, take a look at the leaderboards to see who has how many kills. Dirty with 6 kills, X-Ray with 7. MishMash Gaming, they do have, you know, top fraggers, but then it drops off pretty damn quickly. Kenny with 1 kill, Gibby 3, and Tony only 3. It kind of makes this all or nothing situation. If you're able to frag Dirty or X-Ray out, then MishMash's chances of winning the round are dropping down really, really low. On the other hand, Onlyfans, we will be looking at their performances in the next preparation phase, because for the time being, we can only see the performances of the player being highlighted, aka, in this instance, video. But one thing I do like to point out is, now that we're going to be seeing Onlyfans attack and MishMash defend, the habits or the play styles of both teams can be compared against each other, right? We've seen what Onlyfans defense on Aviation looks like. Let's now see what MishMash does. And one thing that's going to be different for sure is going to be the absence of, you know, vertical breaching for the defense. So MishMash, they're not opening up the floors to take a look at different angles, unlike Onlyfans. And actually, both teams will be doing basically the same thing. Onlyfans, they are still playing verticality, even though they now are on the attacking team. And this could actually be a really good strategy. Now, Tony will be bringing up the shield. It's not a Montang, but it's still the same basic play style. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, if you were able to shoot at Tony's feet, that could be a good way of taking him out, because, you know, he's not going to be exposing himself. Or I do not expect him to expose himself, that's for sure. What other kind of counters will you have to Tony? Zophia's concussion nades, Nomad's air jabs, but Tony has to walk into the air jabs. The concussion nades, yeah, they could be effective if you have a proper team play. And it looks like Tony will actually be riding to the dust. King of Gold getting the kill here. So the defense here will be on the back foot. The Nitro Cell will not be getting too much done. Gibby not in a position to bandage tricks. Of course, Dirty is way too far out, so that wall will be breached, putting yet, you know, another layer of pressure on the defense. Dirty behind that deployable shield, he could still do, or he could still get 1 or 2 kills. And by having Kenny hold back, he's not contributing to the defense, or to his team's defense in the immediate sense of the word, since he's not being actively pushed. So the Goomine will have to be enough. He has to turn back around. King Gold gets a kill. Dirty also gets one. So now it's going to be a 2v4 situation, and the floor is still going to be really dangerous. But Kenny with the double kill, which we unfortunately missed, leaving us with Amani and Kozak, two last attackers alive. Diffuser has been lost for the attack, and recovering it in the study might be a bit of a challenge because, of course, right, it is likely to be watched by Kenny. So what else can you do? It's going to be up to a face-to-face firefight. Amani will be put down. So your roamer, Kenny, is just so aggressive, leaving us with Kozak, last player alive. And he will also be put down by Kenny. Okay, Kozak, I mean, MishMash's roam game, Kenny's roam game was kind of predictable. He just did that a few moments ago. So how and why were you caught off guard by this? Of course, he was sorely exposed. He was in the middle of a corridor with no cover whatsoever to hide behind. Plus, he kind of had to push, so he couldn't just afford to stay, say, and study behind the desk or anything along those lines. So things were not looking too good, and I mean, the round was won by MishMash before Kenny got the last kill. It was won, well, actually, Kenny got like 3 kills here, so it was won once Kenny put the last remaining attacker in an unwinnable position. So if we were to look for somebody to pin the blame on, Kozak wouldn't be the one to actually be at fault here. So that's going to be it for the 7th round, and well, that game is close.
Attackers need to locate
So
and defuse bombs.
I do see the chat, MishMash saying let's go guys, but also if I was to take a look at the comment just above, damn, Onlyfans are clapping, clap hoping. I'm gonna assume this was a typo. Onlyfans are clapping cheeks. Not every single round. I mean, some rounds are being won in a really decisive fashion by both teams, right? Round number 1, Onlyfans were in a 4v1 situation. And was it round number 3 that Dirty won with an ace?
10 seconds remaining.
It is. Yeah, it can be won fairly decisively by both teams. It's not one-sided, not at all. So there we have it, MishMash. Okay, so at this point, I have to ask: has the meta changed? Has the meta changed? And did I miss something? Is Kitchen becoming the unironical or the true secondary bomb site on this map now? Because I spend way too little time playing, and therefore I can get out of touch with the meta. And this is why I always say, oh, it looks like they're bluffing. They're going downstairs to, you know, play the disinformation card. But then it just so happens that it's the real secondary bomb site now. But for the time being, so I'm really asking the question. Players and people in chat saying yes. Dio getting some amount of damage dealt to him, not getting any kills in return. And I was not expecting to see Echo roaming at the top floor. I mean, if somebody has to stay alive till the end of the round, it would be Dirty. Kenny getting a kill with the Nitro Cell. So Kozak, last one to stand last round, is going to be the first one to fall this time around. 4v5 is going to be the landscape from this point on. Dio is fairly low on health. He's actually being put down right now. Tony is also going to be biting the dust. So 3v4, MishMash are retaining a slight advantage. Oh, actually, he gets picked back up. So it's back to a 4v4, but, you know, health pool-wise, MishMash still does have the advantage, of course. By the way, Austin, thank you for the subscription with Twitch Prime. Really appreciated. We don't show the notifications because I want to keep the overlay as clean as possible, but I do see it, and I do really appreciate that. Like, for real, it is super appreciated. If I was to get back on the game, Amani here will be reaching will be playing verticality, and, you know, that's kind of the difference. Yeah, that's the difference between Onlyfans and MishMash. Remember when they were just out of time? Well, right here, Onlyfans, they are being a bit more aggressive and fairly faster than their opponents when they had this position. And therefore, the timer is not going to get critical anytime soon. And therefore, Amani can still, you know, just keep a lookout for those vertical kills. I mean, if he was to get 1 or even 2 frags, imagine having to push the OBJ in a 2v4 fashion. That would be real advantages for Onlyfans. But they are not forgetting the time pressure. You know, for now, they know it's there, but they're acting accordingly. They have to rush down before it gets critical. Unfortunately, Dirty's going to catch T off guard, and revealing this Yokai Jones' position might be a bit dangerous. X-Ray going to get a nice kill here, but King of Gold's got the frag on Dirty. So if I was to point out, you have lost basically one of the best players on MishMash, and now with X-Ray also down, things are not looking too good. Your last player alive, Kenny, is able to get a kill. He is going to be in a 1v1 situation, so it's not lost, not too bad. He is actually still going to win the round. And that's what I mean when I say everything that you point out when referring to stats is somewhat relative, right? So X-Ray is going to be, the top fragger of his team, so if he dies, the chances of MishMash winning the round go down, but they don't drop down to 0. And that is exactly what we saw right here. The scores are now officially tied. So that means MishMash Gaming, they have won 2 rounds in a row, which is something Onlyfans have been able to do once. So if they win this next round, things would be really good for MishMash. Simply because it would show that they're able to win a round on their primary, secondary, and tertiary bomb site. Therefore, as soon as we start again, as soon as we go for another cycle, as soon as we defend the game zone area anew, well, if MishMash have proven themselves able or capable of successfully defending that bomb site, well, they should, in theory, be able to do so again, In the chat, Austin with the with the subscriber logo, MishMash doing the same thing. Sarah's the worst player at NA. Change my mind. Psych, love you, Sarah's. I would say I am a worse player than Sarah's, and there's a reason as to why he is playing and I'm casting. And Le Berger saying, "Come on, guys." What I really do like to see is that there is a fair amount of support for both teams. And yet it remains, still it remains super respectful. It is easy to just start attacking or start insulting the fans or the supporters of the enemy team. So I would just thank you guys for being this respectful. Why am I even casting alone? Because I couldn't even find somebody else to cast alongside of me, and I actually tried. Unfortunately, this is something that we're gonna have to look for more casters in the upcoming seasons. But one thing is for sure, I have asked a few people, for example, Madro, and he wasn't available tonight, which is unfortunate because Madro's a player on the Dead Astronauts teams, and they're not playing tonight. So I hoped he would be here. Unfortunately, he's not going to be. But yeah, casters are really hard to come by. It is crazy how little people apparently seem to be interested in casting compared to playing, which does make sense. No insults here. Onlyfans a chill team. They absolutely are. And I believe they're not. Oh, that's gonna be an easy kill here. But I don't believe they are 18 plus, which is why you don't see them like in Challenger League and that kind of stuff. Because I'm not saying they would automatically win, the quals and automatically make it into Challenger League, but they would at the very least, they would be good enough to make it relatively far into the quals. Can I show the scoreboard? I use, unfortunately not, because I am not the one observing tonight. I'm receiving a clean feed. Actually, look at this. This is just a YouTube live stream, and therefore I'm not the one holding the commands. But the dedicated observer is sitting in a call with me, and there's a delay because we don't want the players to cheat and all that good stuff. So next round or in 2 rounds. But he hears me, so he's gonna get the queue next round, or in 2 rounds. The scoreboards will be up for like 30 seconds, and we'll have enough time to analyze everything. And if not, you know that you can see the performances on the player's cards. For example, Kill of Golds here, Kenny has 7 kills, 3 assists, and 6 deaths. So for the time being, we can only see the players one by one. But when we jump into the preparation phase, all of the player cards are enlarged, and we're going to be able to see the stats for every single player. It is not, as big as the scoreboard, and it doesn't, rank them from first to last. But you still technically have access to every single piece of information. How can MishMash play and write at the same time? Checkmate scientists. Oh yeah, something supernatural is going on here. King of Gold attempted to plant, but that didn't work out too well, as Kenny is here getting a double kill now, leaving us with Sarah's extremely low on health. He couldn't do too much. Dirty is going to put an end to this round. MishMash Gaming will be officially taking the lead. And what I said would be really good if it was to happen just ended up happening. MishMash winning 3 rounds in a row, and therefore they're going to go back on any other bomb site they choose to pick. They just previously won there. So looking at historical data, things are looking really good or really well for MishMash Gaming now. They have to win only 2 rounds to put an end to the game. And the one thing I do want to point out is a game is played over or a competitive game is played over 12 rounds. So 2 rounds out of 12 is somewhat short, right? It shouldn't be too long. And what I really truly mean by that, or the greater point, is the game could come to an end pretty quickly and we wouldn't even see it coming. I mean, winning 2 rounds back to back, which in total would give MishMash, a 5-round streak, so that would be pretty big. But winning 2 rounds back to back from this point on can happen basically in the blink of an eye. So Aviator Room will be possibly the second to last defense. Oh, here, so look at this. So Kenny has 9 kills, 3 assists, 6 deaths. X-Ray 9, 2, 3. X-Ray and Kenny, X-Ray and Dirty are the absolute top fraggers of their team. Kenny has woken up as well, so he's now in the top lead. But Tony and Gibby are trailing behind and actually by a lot. So that is unfortunate. And right here, we have it. King of Golds, 10 kills. Oh, he didn't hold for too long. So on the orange team, King of Golds with 10 kills, 7 deaths. Amani, 8 kills, 7 deaths. And then it drops down, of course, right? Because you always have at first a top fragger and a bottom fragger. So Sarah's 5 kills, 2, 5, 5, and 2. So as you can see, if I was to analyze or to extrapolate from this data, I would say MishMash Gaming, they have either really good or really poor performances, whereas Onlyfans, it looks like they have a more, I'm going to say, consistent performance. Of course, they're still a top and a bottom fragger, but there's no one player you have to kill to guarantee or to virtually guarantee the run is won for your team as MishMash. I mean, Onlyfans, if they take out Kenny, X-Ray, and Dirty, looking at the current, I want to say, performances of Tony and Gibby, they don't seem to be in a position to win multiple kills or to pull off a clutch situation. Using Dio and Sarah should wake up. That is for sure. I mean, Dio can be a beast of a fragger. I do not know what's happening to him right now, but I know he is actually worth a lot more. He can be so much better. So, but then again, I mean, if Onlyfans were winning, I'd be saying the same thing of MishMash. So it kind of goes both ways. I mean, someone has to win, someone has to lose. That's just the way things are. And Amani seems to know there's somebody right above him. Oh, and that's going to be an amazing kill. But they're still in the blue. Oh gosh, does he have a drone there? His breaching game is on point this round. Unfortunately, he's going to miss the kill, but still, he forces X-Ray to rotate out. And should somebody be, holding the angle and cutting off the rotation, that could have been dangerous. But actually, it is going to be Tony's Rome, who is coming back, in the living room. He didn't quite get the kill on Buck, so utility-wise, he got the wrong victim. A frag is still a frag, though, right? But Amani seems to be oblivious. Like, he's watching out, but he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be getting the kill, but just barely, right? And now he's looking to get a third X-Ray. That could even X-Ray taking a lot of damage through the shotgun pellets. Nothing too major, but you cannot say it was just a small amount as well. That's gonna be a triple kill. What is happening? Amani could get the ace, but no, he gets caught off right here. Dirty is gonna be turning these openings, this vertical breaching openings against their former master. Still, the 3K from Amani is putting MishMash on their back foot. They are gonna be finding themselves in a disadvantaged position or situation, and I don't believe they are going to be in a good position to deny Sarah's the breach of the hard breaching capabilities. But you are going to have a 3K and Dirty with the Nitro Cell getting the kill. That is going to be MishMash winning round number 10, and now we will officially be in a match point situation. And there we have it. I used saying, what a C4. He was down. What a C4 indeed. I'm sorry, I kind of missed the end of that round because I had a bit of distraction. IRL. But yeah, I may not have put as much energy in it as I should have. But there you have it. MishMash. Now in a match point situation, it could be the end of the rule for Onlyfans. Onlyfans, who have won 6 games in a row, haven't lost a single one. Would it be the first? Would it be their first time losing? They have played MishMash before, and they won in overtime. So these teams are really tight or really close to one another. So, you know, assuming it goes, knowing that they went in overtime before, it could do so again, and on overtime it could be won, you know, by just any kind of fluke, you know. All right, so match point situation. MishMash once again in the dining room. So once again in secondary bomb side. It really does look like Onlyfans have a somewhat difficult time of attacking or of successfully pulling off the attacks. So right here, if you were to be an Onlyfans supporter, you'd be quite tense at this point because, like I said, OnlyFans, they haven't shown us that they're capable of winning rounds on offense. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I don't want to say MishMash have already won. Oh, it's in the bag. I mean, OnlyFans are still a sizable opponent to play up against. But once again, historical data would be backing up a blue team victory here. We are not going to be going for a unilateral push. As we can see, a few attackers have spawned on a few different sides of the building. Was it just, you know, a mistake or a detail that's been overlooked by Amani? Or is the point really to put the pressure from multiple angles to surround and thus, you know, to outflank the different roamers which will be at the soft floor? For the time being, I couldn't tell you. I mean, for example, Amani could just be droning, you know, to wait for his first teammates and to just play time until they link up with him. But I almost believed Ceres was really gonna try to enter from that angle. And as you can see, the defense is really gonna receive a lot of pressure pretty quickly. They are holding the angle dirty, cannot really rotate out. He can still get the kills and free himself that way. But tactically speaking, his you know, where he can flee and what he can do to stay alive, his movements are going to be somewhat limited. Amani getting a nice goal on Tony and already starting to, you know, do a number on the floor here. The good slash bad news, depending on who you're rooting for, is that there's not too many MishMash Gaming defenders directly on bomb site. So playing verticality, if you have a lot of roamers outside of the OBJ, would be not too useful. That wasn't the Sophia or Ella's Grismot mines. Visibly, Dio did not shoot his concussion nades, but then again, what were the Grismot's mines doing up there? Nonetheless, they will detonate without providing MishMash any advantage whatsoever. It is what it is, right? You can't always capitalize on those events. Gibby is absolutely going to be returning far, so he will not just be going down to the vertical play without a fight. And the big problem I see here is that he's kind of playing into OnlyFans' hands. Even if he doesn't die, even if he gets a kill, he is still distracted. I mean, X-Ray could be outgunned pretty quickly, and then hypothetically, let's say Kozak could just rush in and get a kill on Gibby, who would still be looking at the ceiling. So that is kind of the real danger of the verticality. If you don't die by it, it is a heck of a distraction for the defenders downstairs. But till then, MishMash, they are at odds of winning. They have the numerical disadvantage, but tactically speaking, they still have a lot of control of bomb site. 28 or roughly 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Gibby is going to get a kill on Ceres. Therefore, Gibby could actually get the ace, but no, he'll be cut short. Right here, vertical play. Like I did not say, Kozak was not in front of him, or was not above him. He was just having a clever angle here. Kenny also falling down. X-Ray now last player alive will fall to OnlyFans' fire. And there you have it, OnlyFans not going down without a fight. They will try their absolute best to bring this into overtime. They only have to win yet another round, or, you know, to take yet another win to bring this into overtime. It is still entirely doable for them. This match looks to be promising, that is for sure. And also, it looks like it is 9 p.m, so I will just notify the other teams, because there was another game that was supposed to start right about now. Hostile actions playing against OnlyFans. Visibly, as you guys can see, OnlyFans are not in a position to start another match. So I'm just gonna tell the players to wait up that it is normal. So I'm not gonna be commenting or casting over these replays too hard here.
There has been dropped.
So yeah, okay, so they have been notified. What a game, what a game. And since we have 29 people, 29 viewers in chat, who do you think is going to take it? Who do you expect to see winning? Who are you rooting for? Feel free to just totally spam and flood the chat with the name of the team you're rooting for, and let's see which side has the louder fans. Oh, Treg is here. Treg, how you doing? Actually, you know what? Oh my gosh, here it starts. Here it goes. Usually when I do this, there's a 3 minutes delay, and I never get to actually see or hear the response, you know, within a reasonable amount of time, and then I just get disconnected of the hype I'm creating. But right here, Onlyfans, I use just stretching it out. But then MMG is responding with the MishMash logos. Onlyfans, I believe they're still a fairly new team, so I don't even know if they have a logo or a partner or an affiliate streamer that would allow them to have the logo on their channel. So yeah, bro, MMG finna throw. I don't know. Atomic saying I predict the toss. Couldn't tell you. So Tony's gonna get the first kill here on Kozak. That is still gonna be your roaming game, as strong as ever. And one thing I do want to point out, it is quite minor. It is a minor grab, but it's still one nonetheless. MishMash have lost the extended hold they had over games and aviation pretty easily. So you have 2 reinforced walls. As we can see, there was at least a mute jammer, and this utility has been abandoned way too easily, considering MishMash still have all 5 of their players remaining. So I mean, it's nothing too major, right? Trading space for time pulling back in exchange of remaining alive is a trade that is absolutely worthwhile as a roamer. But yeah, utility-wise, I mean, by having those reinforcements outside of OBJ, the bomb site itself is going to be so much easier to funnel in through. As we can see right here, this wall should, in theory, be reinforced. So some other teams would reinforce that wall. But things are not looking too good for Onlyfans, right? So people rooting for MishMash, things are looking really good. 2v5 situation. Tony is very low on health, so he would be an extremely easy target, granted, but you only need 1 hit point worth of health to shoot your gun and to get the ace, in theory, even though on practice it's going to be so much more difficult because, you know, you're low on health and all that good stuff. But on paper, it is still possible. So, to respond to Ayuz's comment, maybe not Sarah's, but say Amani, now would be the good time to get to pull off the ace if you want to get this into overtime. You can see that they are going to be really, really cautious. They do not want to commit to something foolish. There is going to be a kill here for Tony, a kill for King of Gold. So your Nomad is going to be caught between 2 different lines of bullets. Kenny getting the final kill, and there you have it. Onlyfans' reign has been brought to an end. They had 6 victories under their belts. They had been able to defeat basically every other team in the tournament, except MishMash Gaming as soon as they play against them a second time. And now, they will be playing just yet after this game. They're playing immediately against Hostile Actions, which is another team with 6 victories and 0 losses. So there was a tie, which technically still stands, since of course Onlyfans didn't win a point by doing so. And therefore things will be quite interesting, because it is of course going to be a rivalry which will have to be settled basically right now. But coming off of a defeat, this could have an impact on Onlyfans' morale, and if they were to start with their spirits, you know, slightly lowered, it might even have a negative impact on their upcoming game, which I would absolutely hate to see. I mean, this next match has to remain untainted as much as possible, because, good lord, 6-0 scorelines for 2 teams which are going to be facing off against each other now. That is not something you see every day. Yeah, one thing is for sure. Unfortunately, MishMash, as much as I do want to congratulate you on your victory, and as much as I would like to discuss that game, we already went overtime. You know, there was another match which was supposed to start at 9, so it's 9:06, nothing too major. But I'm gonna have to skip over that to try to, you know, recuperate the lost time. So congratulations on your victory. It was actually kind of a revenge here, since you had lost against them at the very first game that we've had actually on the tournament. The one stream on which my power got cut off because we had those thunderstorms. So it will no longer be the case here. This time we don't have a thunderstorm. But still, Still, I missed out on the first game, and that was really unfortunate because it went into overtime. It was magnificent. So let me just enter in the scores. Oh, they already did. They already did. Okay. So yeah, Sarah reported that pretty quickly. So without further ado, let's work on getting the other